let's say you're a website owner who has purchased an accessibility audit. You get the audit report back, and there are 125 issues that you need to fix. So now you're organizing this project, and one of the first questions you might have is, what order should we make the fixes in? Do we simply start at the top of the spreadsheet and work our way down? Or is there a way that we can prioritize these fixes based on our objective? And there absolutely is. So on the screen with me, I have a sample audit report. And I just have this showing to illustrate that there are dozens and dozens of rows of issues. Again, in our illustration here, we've got 125 accessibility issues that we need to fix. And as digital asset owners know, this can take some time. So this can take weeks, if not months. And so uh, prioritization does become a priority. So I'm going to show you exactly how to prioritize now. We're going to go inside of Accessibility Tracker. We're inside the dashboard. We've got the spreadsheet transposed inside of Tracker, and we can see that there are three different columns I'm going to draw your attention to. One is risk factor, one is impact, this stands for user impact, and the other is priority. And so we can see all of the accessibility issues, but now we're able to prioritize these issues intelligently. So one way we can prioritize is risk factor. So I'm going to go ahead and sort now. Right now, the issues are just showing up randomly. It's not sorted by any particular order. And I'm going to prioritize by risk factor. And first it goes to low. I'm going to sort one more time. And now we've got the issues prioritized by high. And so we can see here a critical issue with a score of 100. And all of these critical issues with a score of 100 are tied to success criterion 1.1.1 of the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. The title here is non-text content. Most of you will know this by alternative text and issues related to alternative text. That's the primary consideration here with 1.1.1. The point being is that these are the issues that are most likely to lead to a lawsuit. I'm going to explain more behind the formula and the scoring system. So now I'm going to sort by user impact. So currently we can see there are a bunch of scores of 80. Now I'm going to sort one time, and it sorts by low, sort one more time, and we'll be back at high. And so we can see this number one issue is critical, and this is tied to success criterion 2.1.1 keyboard, which essentially says that the functionality of your digital asset needs to be operable through keyboard only. And what you'll notice is there's a third column here labeled priority. And what we can do is we can set our own priority and sort by our own uh, the issues that we have prioritized. So we can go in here and we can set a priority of high, medium, or low. And so we have that customization. We have that ability to customize our priority ourselves. And sometimes there are just a few issues that you want to designate that you want to work on first. And so here's where you can do that. All right, so now that we've gone through Accessibility Tracker, I'm going to I'm going to go to another tab where we have a blog post titled How to Prioritize Accessibility Issues. And so the traditional way that this has been approached by digital accessibility companies is we have these different classifications of severity. And so usually what will happen is inside the audit report spreadsheet, there will be a column for severity, and then we'll see any number of a few designations. So it might be something like critical, severe, important, urgent, etc. So those are the traditional classifications. But of course, as a digital asset owner, you want more precision. You want to know exactly what issues to work on first. And so this gets us away from those broader categorizations into something more specific, something where we see an actual score for each issue. So as I said, one of the formulas we have is risk factor, and this is directly associated with your lawsuit risk. So of course, in the United States, there's ongoing serial litigation over website accessibility. So there are many website owners who are concerned with this. They want to prevent a lawsuit. So they want to know what accessibility issues should we be working on first. So this formula is completely data driven. the data is from complaints that are filed in court by the most active plaintiffs' law firms. So we look at those complaints, we extract the issues that show up the most, and then the issues that show up the most get the highest score. And there you have that formula. So scrolling on down this blog post, we have another section for user impact. And here we have a scoring system. So, you know, the the different success criteria in the web content accessibility guidelines are there for a reason. These are technical standards that have been poured over by numerous professionals for hundreds and thousands of hours. So a lot of time has gone into deciding all of the different success criteria that are included in the web content accessibility guidelines. So they're almost all important, but there are some accessibility issues that are going to have more of a user impact. And what we've done is we've created a formula where we have a scoring system based on 5 key factors that reflects how much each of these different success criteria affects real users. So one of the highest weight goes to access blocking severity, and this is going to measure how completely the issue prevents users from accessing content. Then we have workaround feasibility, and that's weighted the second most, and this evaluates how easily users can find alternative ways to access content when an issue exists. The third um, the third weight here is user population size, and this considers how many users are potentially affected by the issue. And then fourth, we have contextual criticality, which assesses how important the affected functionality is to completing core tasks. And then five, we have the frequency likelihood factor, which evaluates how commonly the issue occurs on typical websites. And so the scoring system here is weighted 35 to access blocking severity, workaround feasibility is weighted at 25, user population at 15 points, contextual criticality at 10 points, and then frequency likelihood factor at 15 points. So what we did, we created this formula. We had all of the scores, and then we manually went in and adjusted some of the scores based on our experience in accessibility. And so this formula is based on this scoring system, and so it's very useful if your concern is like, hey, we want to make sure that no accessibility issues are causing users to be blocked from access. So we want to work our way down in terms of what is the highest user impact to what is the lowest user impact. So we're going to work on those issues that are most likely to impact users and then work our way down. And then so that's what I have here is just some special considerations, that just a few manual adjustments that went into the scoring system. And then that leads us back to accessibility tracker, because accessibility tracker enables you to go ahead and prioritize in a matter of seconds, so that this is no longer a manual exercise. We're not working with these imprecise, critical, severe, urgent, etc. We're not going with these imprecise calculations or these imprecise categorizations. Instead, we have the exact scores. So we do go ahead and provide some of these labels inside accessibility tracker. We can see here there are critical issues that are for critical is the designation reserved for the highest score, but we have the scores along there with them, and you'll be able to sort by the accessibility issue that you should prioritize first. So this is going to be very helpful, and this is actually how Accessibility Tracker got started. Accessibility Tracker was in the beginnings started with, hey, we need to come up with a precise way to prioritize accessibility issues. And so that's what you have here. And it's really nice that you can go in here and custom add what your priority is if you so choose. But otherwise, you can go ahead and decide to sort by one of two formulas. If you're concerned with being sued over website accessibility, obviously risk factor is where you will start. And then if you're more concerned with user impact and making sure that everybody is at least not blocked when using your digital asset, that you can go ahead and start with user impact. And what will be no surprise is that there is a fair amount of overlap, although these two are definitely distinct from one another. So You can try Accessibility Tracker for free. I will include a link in the description. And if you don't have an audit report, you can get an audit report from accessible.org, but this will work with any audit report. You just simply have to map the columns to Accessibility Tracker, and you'll be good to go. I will include a sample accessibility audit that you can upload to Accessibility Tracker. And again, there's a free plan, so you can get started for free and start sorting the different issues, whether you use the sample audit or your own. So I will link to Accessibility Tracker in the description.